Welcome back. Welcome to the third season of Regan's Corner Sports Podcast. Okay, next stop.
I'm dropping the hammer. No, you're not.
Here at Regan's Corner. Okay, and my great, lovely co-host here, Emma Felton. What's it good? What's it new? And how is your Florida State Seminoles doing this year?
Yeah, our Florida State Seminoles are a little bit frustrating this season. We're doing way better than we have in the past, so that's really good. Especially because it's my senior year, so I just wanted 1 year of good football. But it's been a little bit frustrating for the past couple of games because we do really well in the first half, and then our team just ends up falling apart in the second half. I don't know whether it's due to bad play calling or what, but we've had a bit of an issue with our kicker this year because there's not a lot of trust in him. So a lot of plays where we could kick the ball, we choose to run it, and it just doesn't end up working out. So that's been frustrating because we've missed a lot of points that we could have gotten. It was also in the game against Clemson, which was a lot closer than I thought it would be, so that's good. But with Clemson, there was one play that frustrated me so much just because we had 5 attempts at a touchdown and we didn't get it. And I just think that our defense in that game was a little bit slow to react. And I don't know. I think we just need some better play calling in the upcoming games, and hopefully we'll be able to get our record back. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Florida State football. Josh, have you heard about what's going on with Dan Snyder? He is not very well liked in the league meetings right now.
Well, I mean, Emma, let's just talk about how it is. The guy's kind of a snake. He's kind of a rat mentality to being an owner in the NFL, okay? Because why would you try to cut the legs that you have with Jerry Jones, one of the most powerful owners, Jerry World, okay? That scoreboard, okay? Why would you think that would be a great idea? I mean, Jim Irsay said it enough. They have enough votes to just kick him out. I don't know why they just don't do it. With all the allegations that he's had so far throughout this, and then once the NFL tries to do something, he's on his yacht, 50 feet off of coast. So, I mean, you might as well just cut the cord there, Emma.
Yeah, he has had issues in the past also. He has been accused of creating a toxic work environment. He got fined $10 million. He just, for everyone that doesn't know the background of it, there's allegations against him right now that were made in an ESPN report that says that he has information to blow up other NFL owners and that he hired private investigators to look into them and the commissioner. Should honestly make sense because he wants the commissioner out right now. So he says that it's false and that he's really upset with the NFL for not fixing the report ahead of time. But it sounds like all of it's true.
Absolutely. I mean, like you have other owners talking about the Jim Gruden situation last year with Washington and stuff like that, trying to get emails out in the open, more emails, because it just seemed like Johnny Gruden was the only one that got the emails out, his emails. But Dan Snyder had to be someone in that too, because it's his organization. Not talking about him doing the football team. He should be kicked out just having the audacity just to name his team the football team. Okay. After the Redskins and stuff like that. Okay, cool. But with everything going on, you should have knew that name being in such a public light like this, okay, would be a problem. Okay. So you should have stuff for that, but they didn't. But
Mm-hmm.
Emma, I think he should be kicked out because of that alone. Okay. Commander is okay, but you could have came up with that 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the NFL league meetings right now. There's also arguments between Cowboys that stemmed from a motion to permit the owners' compensation committee to begin negotiations on a new deal with the commissioner, whose contract is supposed to be up after this year. Jones was the only one who was not in favor of the contract. And I don't know why Kraft was the only one on the opposing side of Jones in this, but I know there was an argument with them specifically, and Jones was not happy because he told Kraft, "Don't fuck with me." And yeah, I don't know. Jones has had issues with the commissioner's contract in the past, and he was one of the main voices that believed his 5-year pact in 2017 should be mostly bonus based instead of salary. And he doesn't think that the bonus pool is strict enough for Goodell in terms of meeting new goals and targets. So it doesn't sound like the commissioner is going to lose his contract because it's really just Jones. But I don't know. He's a one-man army on that one.
Right, for sure. It just sounds like he might not resign. It might just be kind of up in the air at this point and stuff like that. But Jerry is just hell bent on just absolutely not having Roger Goodell back in office. Maybe because of the Sikh situation, stuff along those lines that been couple 2-3 years suspensions for his players. Rightfully so in some cases, like Zeke, Greg Hardy, Pac Man. Uh, but Jerry Jones is a player's owner, so he's going to back his kids up or his adults. Because some kids in NFL, some people in NFL act like kids. But anyway, I think that's kind of the stemming problem in there. Like kind of the relationship between Goodell and Jerry Jones. But yeah, I mean, Robert Kraft, good for you telling Jerry Jones the abs. I mean,
No, it was
good
the
for
other
you.
way.
It was the other way around. Well, good
Yeah.
for you. I mean, Jerry Jones, Gary, good for you. Okay, because Robert Kraft, he's a special one too. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like they all have their own issues this year. Um, Let me see. Yeah, other things going on with the NFL. I know that they've had some criticism of their protecting the quarterback calls and roughing the passer penalties. And they do not want to back down on that. The criticism came after controversial calls in week 5. I'm not sure exactly what happened in week 5. Do you want to share some of that?
Well, Emma, the hits that we've seen in this year, that's first the Tom Brady hit with Atlanta Falcons. That could have went the other way that whole game because they were driving, okay, and then a key sack gets them past where a field goal can happen, or makes it even harder for a field goal to happen in that situation. It went from went 15 yards with a first down where they could have had maybe a 60-yard field goal, and possibly a chance with Marcus Mariota to win the game, to Tom Brady scoring on the other end. Okay. And the sack itself was a sack. Okay. His weight wasn't on Tom Brady too much. It was a nice little rip tackle. Okay. I mean, I don't know where they want him to hit him, to be honest with you. Okay. It's a physical game. I mean, like there's
Mhm.
a nice little South Park episode that would describe this rule perfectly. Okay. And if you guys don't know what that episode is, go watch some South Park to figure what I'm talking about. Okay. It was when Peyton Manning still played for the Broncos. Okay. So it was a while back, but it's still the same. Okay. Where it's just like, what are we doing? I get the safety part of it, but there's other ways to make the game safe. Okay. But like, Emma, what is a tackle? I don't know what a tackle is anymore. Like, what is it? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I see both sides of it because it is a really physical game and the players are aware of that. So I'm sure they wouldn't mind if they back down a little bit on those calls, especially because it would benefit their team as well. But I see the safety side of it also. Football is really dangerous. It comes out with, I think, the most concussions out of any sport every year, and there's injuries almost every single game. But I don't think that cutting down on that penalty would change the amount of injuries. I think that a lot of the injuries come from other plays. I don't
For
know.
sure.
I think there's
Absolutely.
risk playing in general, and I I just don't know how much that call changes things in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, because there's so many other places where you can't hit a quarterback, like the helmets. Can't do a helmet because that would change a lot if you reverse that. The
Yeah, that
T,
one.
but everywhere else, I mean, okay, you can't hit them on the legs. It could tore their ACLs. Now, I guess you can't hit them in the stomach either, or put any weight. Okay. So as a defensive end, what do you do when you're like 300 pounds and Tommy Brady's like 6'5" and 220? That's a big guy. Okay. How are you going to take him down if you can't like kind of throw him on the ground, but not really? Like, I just don't know, bro. I mean, like, that's just, it's mind boggling. Okay. Absolutely
That
mind boggling.
that's really difficult because I don't know what they're supposed to do with that. Because everything, like, obviously in the game, it's in the heat of the moments. They're not thinking about like the specific, oh, I need to make sure I don't hit him in this place, or I need to move like 3 inches down or whatever. And so I just think it makes for worse football if there's a million little requirements about every tackle.
Absolutely. I mean, with the graphics being so good, I'm surprised they don't have like a strike zone on the quarterback. That'd be a good
No,
idea to start off like with ESPN or something like that. They have like a nice little strike zone on Tom Brady after he gets the hike. Oh, hey, here, you can't go on the shoulder. That's red. Okay. And then have it kind of like here. Or even have like part of his jersey be red. So that way they know, like a bull, like, hey, by the way, you can't hit him down here. Okay, his pad level with his shorts are red, or his shoulders, because that's how they do in practice. And that's kind of similar to what we're going to be probably doing in a couple of years, where it's going to be two-hand touch with the quarterback. Okay, because that's what I see in the future if they keep this law going. But
That would be really unfortunate. Do you want to move a little bit into NASCAR? I'm really interested to talk to you about what happened with Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson.
yeah, Emma, what happened with that?
A lot of things. So Bubba Wallace got suspended from the next Cup Series championship event because in Las Vegas on Sunday, Kyle Larson's car forced Wallace's into the wall, to which Wallace returned the favor by hitting the back of Larson's car, forcing him to spin out. And after they got out of the cars after the crash, Wallace got in Larson's face and was pushing him repeatedly. He was just really trying to pick a fight. So for that unsportsmanlike conduct, he ended up getting suspended. I know you changed your mind a little bit about how you feel about this. What information made you change your mind? And what was your original opinion?
My original opinion was like rubbing's racing, okay? And you're going to have people just absolutely fighting in NASCAR. It's just a part of what NASCAR is. But looking at the times changing and stuff like that, looking at old drivers kind of being like, hey, this is whatever. And plus looking at the film more, yeah, you should have been expended, okay, for a game, for a race. So, yeah, I mean, you can't just shove somebody on national TV like that, okay?
Yeah,
Even
well,
though
also
you
wasn't
could see,
fighting back. He didn't want to be involved, and he just kept trying. Um,
right, like
no, keep going.
for sure, right. So Larson was just like this with his hands up, like, hey, buddy, I get it. I get it. The years, couple years, like honestly, with Wallace stuff and everything like that, I initially, because I usually don't go race with this, but that racial slur during like the pandemic, that kind of probably was a little bit back of Wallace's head. Okay, why you kept going after Larson, even though Larson repeatedly apologized to Bubba and stuff like that. But all the stuff that racially happened during the pandemic stuff, um, I think it kind of went into Bubba's head a little bit. And I think that was one of the triggers. Okay. And the other was the wreck beforehand. And then you could, the last one was just uncalled for. The wreck itself is basically why Bubba got expended, not the fight, but the wreck. Because looking at the film, he hooked him. Okay, that's a no-no. Okay, in racing, because you can ruin a guy's career. Okay, by doing that. If he hits the wall hard enough, if he hits this, that, even with the technology they have in the cars, that's still a no-no to do. And Bubba said all the right things. That's why they only got one game race. But you can clearly see he tried to end Kyle Larson's career almost with that last wreck.
See, I didn't think that it looked intentional. I thought it looked like him trying to recover from the wall, but it may have been intentional. It's kind of hard to tell. But I don't know. I know that he did apologize for his behavior and said that his behavior doesn't align with the core values of 2311 Racing and their partners. He also apologized to NASCAR, his fans, Christopher Bell, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Toyota, which I think he should have. He explained that racing comes with immense passion, and at times that comes with frustration, and that he's reflected on it and that he should have represented his partners and his core team values better than he did. So all of that is good. I think the suspension is appropriate for what happened, whether it be due to the wreck or due to the fight. I think if the wreck was intentional, that's definitely merit for the suspension. And I also think the fight alone is merit for the suspension.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's get into the Aaron Judge
Yes.
selection, free agency. Okay. And what will it take for my Cubbies to get Aaron Judge? And I hope I all rise at Wrigley Field next year.
Yeah, I don't know. He is slated to be a free agent after this season's end, and I know you want him for the Cubs, but he's given every indication that he wants to remain with the Yankees. I know that I think it was in the last game. He was shown doing like the cross across his Yankees logo, and I know that he really likes the location, and he's been with them for his whole career, so he definitely has some loyalty there.
Yes. I'm not worried about Judge's loyalty. I'm worried about New York's loyalty to Judge. Okay. Give him to the Chicago Cubbies. Give him, okay? Because we're due to make a splash in free agency since we let go everybody who won us the championship in 2016. Everybody other than Kyle Hendricks. Okay. Willie Contreras. Well, he's probably out of the door too. So, I forgot about Happ too. Okay, I'll give Ian Happ his due. But I gotta have a win there, Emma, for being a Cubs fan after a while. I mean, is it gonna be another 100 years? Okay. It might be live next time they win a World Series. I don't know. Girl, I just don't know. Okay. And it's just like it's frustrating. Okay. I just want Judge, maybe Turner in off season, maybe sprinkle a couple pitchers in because you don't have pitching. But you have some young prospects for the Cubbies. Okay. Give them a nice little outfield piece. Give them a little bit of a nice little shortstop and Trey Turner, and pair it up with the young guns that are coming up. And you have a solid club again. But right now, I mean, you saw what we have at first base. Hey, if you're a Yankees fan, I'm sorry, but I want my captain back, okay? I want Anthony Rizzo on top of that, okay? Judge, Rizzo, and Turner. Give me everything, okay? I know I'm asking a lot here from the administration of the Cubs, but I'm just – it is what it is. I mean, but you being in Florida, you got a couple of good options. You got the Marlins, look like they're starting to kind of come up with the Jeter stuff, and then you got the Rays too. I mean, they're consistently pretty good usually.
Yeah, we do have a couple good teams here. I'm not Florida loyal though. I am more of a Yankees fan when it comes to baseball. So I would love to see Aaron Judge stay with the Yankees.
With you, I would hope, okay, for the Yankees' sake that they keep him. But as a Yankees fan, you know how they are, okay? They will spin. But if somebody's too close, I don't know, man. I don't know, Emma. But as a Cubs fan, I want me some Judge. I want me some Judge.
Yeah, okay. Let's move a little bit into Brittany Grinder, who, as most everyone probably knows, is the WNBA player who is being held in Russian prison right now. Tuesday marked her 8-month stay there. It was also her 32nd birthday. So she released a statement Her lawyers were able to relay to her all of the messages of support that she's gotten. So she released a thank you message to thank everyone for helping fight to get her home. And she said that all of the support and love are definitely helping her. She does have an upcoming appeal, but she's not very hopeful about it, as all of the evidence in the case originally already showed that it's an unjust case, and that didn't change much. So hopefully we'll be able to get her back soon. It's a really sad circumstance.
It's super sad, but it's even sadder that the PA, who brought Brittany Grinder down there and stuff like that, didn't go over the rules in the country and stuff like that, with the weed and this and that, with even the oil of the plant, which really shouldn't be a law, because all it does is help you. It's not anything that gets you high or anything like that. But I think it's just an overall mess up by the PA from the German team, the PA from the Phoenix Mercury. Brittany kind of not educating herself on the laws and stuff like that. And she's been there probably 2-3 years, because a place like that, okay, they're going to have stingy laws. They're going to have this. They're going to have that, especially since the war is going on there with Ukraine and stuff like that. Putin just wants to absolutely control everything to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to even play with it. Okay. So to me, if I'm a professional athlete and I have to go overseas, I'm picking a country where I know that my oil will be legal, will be this, with that, like Spain or Austria or this and that. And a player like Brittany Griner, you're telling me that she can't handpick where she's going to be going, or even get a job as a coach here or a broadcaster or anything like that? Um, it's a sad situation, but I feel like it could have been prevented several different ways. I know from I'm probably going to get canceled because I said that, uh, but that's the honest given truth. It's one of the saddest sports stories that we will ever hear, but it could have
Mm-hmm.
been prevented on so many levels. That is just
Well,
go ahead,
correct
Emma.
me. Yeah, sorry. Correct me if I'm misspeaking, but I thought that she forgot that they were in her backpack. Or did she bring them intentionally, just not knowing the laws over there?
I think she brought him intentionally, but I think that was an excuse. Like, let's
Mm,
say you don't do your homework or something like that, and you're like, "Oh, hey, I know this is totally different. She is in 9 years in prison and stuff like that." And I'm saying if you don't get your homework done and stuff like that, but it's the same concept. It's like, hey, oh, I could get super trouble with this, but if I say X, maybe it's going to be less, kind of thing. I think she knew, kinda, but didn't really realize what was happening in that situation, kind of thing.
yeah, this isn't me saying anything negative about her. Obviously, I hope the best for her and I want her to get out. But do you think that when she gets back to the US that she'll be taken back by the WNBA, because aren't they supposed to be drug tested and she's supposed to be clean from everything? So wouldn't that be an issue for them also?
No,
You
and
don't
I'm going
think
to tell
so?
you why. No, because weed's legal in most states, and plus the oil is legal in almost every state in the United States. So the oil, even here in Indiana, which is a very Republican state, okay, the oil is still legal, okay, because it doesn't have anything what the plant part of it has, like any hallucinogens and stuff like that, where like the seeds and stuff like that and everything along those lines where they grow to make marijuana and stuff like that. The oil is a little bit different because it's the stem part of it and stuff like that. So that was the part she got in trouble for. It was an
Mm.
actual like bag or whatever. It was just the oil that was in her bag. Okay. But in Russia, that is a 9-year offense. Okay. Period. Um, so the biggest problem is, are they going to get her time before her career is done? Okay, that's the question. Because
Yeah.
with all the negotiations and stuff like that, like, okay, I mean, she had a brilliant career going, but it could be like that. It could be over. That's the sad part of the thing.
It must be terrifying to be in a prison in a country that you're not familiar with, especially because she has such limited communication with people that she does know. I know that she's only been able to talk to her wife twice in the 8 months, and she hasn't been able to speak to her parents or siblings at all since her imprisonment started.
Absolutely. It's a heart-wrenching kind of topic, and it's very much injustice kind of laws and stuff like that, but it could be prevented on several different levels, okay? I don't know if the German, like, PA guys and stuff like that talked to her about it, or not German, Russian, my bad, Russian PAs from her team and stuff like that, or here in the United States, kind of talking about it and stuff like that, um, because that is one of your bigger players if you're Mercury. Okay, do I think she's going to get home? They'll eventually make a deal, but I don't know if it's going to be a month from now or 5 years from now. Okay,
Yeah, I was going to
but I
think it's a
think
matter.
eventually we will.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
sorry. I was going to say
so
matter
get
matter
on.
of when, long time.
Absolutely. So okay, our last segment. Do you think your Seminoles will get a dub this week?
This week, oh, I've been so busy this week. I don't even know who we're playing. I'm gonna have to look at it and then I'll let you know. Um, oh, and my internet's not working. If you know who we're playing, that would be helpful.
I will take a look, see. Uh, but I'm going to tell you.
Why I didn't know because I usually know who we're playing every week, and it just wasn't in my brain this time. So I guess we are on a bye week. I think we
Absolutely.
do have a game Halloween, which should be interesting.
Yes. Super interesting. So, for your experience and stuff like that, is Halloween like the best like game, like tailgate and stuff like that because of all the costumes and stuff like along those lines?
Typically, I don't really like to go out for the game on Halloween weekend just because there's such an expectation to go out every day for Halloween. So like this year it'll be like Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, not Sunday, but like Halloween's on a Monday this year. So it's I think like in theory it sounds like it would be the best tailgate, but I think it's probably one of the worst just because everyone's exhausted from everything else going on.
Right. For sure. Because I went a like night game
Yeah.
last year from Notre Dame. You saw a couple leprechauns, you saw a couple priests, you saw whatever, and I'm like, that must be either really cold or really hot inside of those costumes, depending on what you're wearing. I saw a couple sumo suits too, like inflatable, like sumo, like suits and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Tallahassee, there's never a dull game day, so I'm sure it'll still be just as crowded as it normally is. just with less sleep.
Absolutely. But it's been a pleasure for the first episode here, Emma. And stay froggy, my friends, at home. And remember to subscribe down below.